From careful selection processes to strict rules during the stay, North Korea doesn't seem too welcoming for tourists. The North Korean government controls virtually everything within the country, from internet access to the freedom of movement for its citizens. There's also no surprise that the country that strives to maintain the image they've been creating themselves for decades now keep an eye on what the visitors from abroad capture with their cameras. Still, though, this hasn't deterred some determined individuals from sharing photos that provide insights into daily life in this hermit kingdom. In this video, you will see some intriguing documented pictures of North Korea depicting life in the mysterious country. Number 1. Cistern in bathroom. When it comes to countries like North Korea, hardships affect everyone. Even if you have amenities that others may lack access to, it doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. Consider housing, for instance. While owning a house might seem like the height of comfort, that's not always the case. In this picture, you can see the bathroom of what's considered a modern home in North Korea, with a cistern used to store water. This indicates that the plumbing system in the home is so unreliable that people need to resort to using cisterns. It's a stark reminder of how poorly the country treats its citizens, denying them even basic amenities like running water. Number 2. Border gunship. You might be wondering why, given the challenging conditions in North Korea, its citizens don't just pack up and leave. Well, it's not as simple as it may seem. Apart from the pervasive poverty and strict travel regulations, the North Korean government has implemented severe measures to prevent anyone from escaping the country. In this photograph, you can see a soldier stationed near the border that separates North Korea from China, standing beside a gunship. Her primary responsibility is to keep a vigilant eye out for anyone attempting to cross the border into China, with orders to use lethal force if necessary. The North Korean government actively employs these threats to dissuade its citizens from leaving the country. What makes this situation even more challenging is that North Korea is a state where the government holds absolute power, and there are virtually no repercussions for their actions. This effectively leaves the people of North Korea with very limited options when it comes to seeking a better life beyond their borders. Number 3. Barbed wire fences. This serves as yet another stark example of the government's extreme measures to prevent its citizens from leaving the country. Take a look at this image, illustrating the extraordinary level of security along the border between North Korea and China. What you see here is a barbed wire fence extending for miles along North Korea's coastline. This fencing is primarily designed to keep people inside the country and ensure that anyone attempting to swim in or out will be swiftly apprehended. What makes it even more formidable is that it's electrified, so anyone who even comes into contact with it immediately gets an electric shock. Even if someone manages to breach this barrier, they would then have to contend with the vigilant guards patrolling the area, and the odds are stacked against them. Of course, it doesn't mean that people haven't attempted to escape from North Korea. In fact, some have even succeeded, but it's essential to understand that doing so carries an immense risk to their lives. Being caught would almost certainly have dire consequences. Number 4. The reality of rations. This photograph provides a glimpse into the vibrant activity of a local market, an essential facet of North Korean life rarely accessible to foreigners. In sharp contrast to the opulent shopping complexes promoted in official propaganda, this scene portrays shelves that are far from overflowing and goods with a distinctly basic appearance. Within this bustling market, vendors offer a diverse range of items, from fundamental foodstuffs to second-hand clothing. While some items like fruits and vegetables may appear ordinary, others, seemingly crafted from recycled or repurposed materials, silently convey the challenges of resource scarcity. This scene hints at the unspoken resourcefulness that citizens have developed, a response born from the necessity to make the most of their limited resources. What's particularly intriguing is that this market scene also reveals an undercurrent of informal capitalism within the predominantly state-controlled economy. Despite the government's stringent economic regulations, these markets persist, playing a vital role as a lifeline for the average North Korean citizen. They stand as a testament to the resilience of the people and shed light on the daily realities of rationing in North Korea. Number 5. Slave labor camp. It's a well-known fact that dictatorships, such as the one in North Korea, often employ forced labor, particularly with their own citizens, to carry out various tasks. North Korea, however, takes this practice to an extreme level. In this image, taken a few years ago, you can see two women who were confined to one of the government's numerous forced labor camps. In these labor camps, individuals are essentially required to toil tirelessly from sunrise to sunset, performing tasks like harvesting plants and other menial jobs that the government deems necessary. Disturbingly, there have been reports of numerous deaths within these work, although the full extent of potential human rights abuses remains largely unknown. It's essential to note that North Korea isn't the only country known for such labor camps. Nations like China and Russia have also faced accusations of exploiting their own citizens through forced labor. It's a stark reminder of the harsh realities faced by individuals in these oppressive regimes, highlighting the cruelty that exists in our world today. Number 6. Technological divide. Old radio. The sixth picture showcases an outdated radio, serving as a powerful symbol of the immense technological gap that separates North Korea from the rest of the world. These decades-old radios are a common sight in North Korean households, primarily used to receive state-controlled news broadcasts, with modifications that restrict access to government-approved channels only. These radios stand as a testament to the regime's strict control over the flow of information. This image prompts us to contemplate the significant disparity between North Korea's technological landscape and that of developed nations. In an era characterized by smartphones and widespread internet connectivity, the existence of such obsolete technology serves as a stark reminder of the country's isolation and the government's determined efforts to tightly regulate the dissemination of information. Number 7. Child labor. As we've discussed, the North Korean government's exploitation of its own citizens as forced laborers is a grim reality. What's even more disheartening is the extent to which this practice reaches, sparing not even the youngest members of society. Disturbing images have circulated on the internet, shedding light on the government's use of its own children as laborers. These children are thrust into grueling tasks, working tirelessly from sunrise to sunset, and they receive little to no compensation for their labor. It's heart-wrenching to think that these are children who should be attending school or enjoying their free time with friends, yet they find themselves toiling under the scorching sun, engaged in farming and land-tilling, all to secure a meager meal. To make matters worse, if you examine the images closely, you'll notice a soldier overseeing the scene. These soldiers are tasked with ensuring that every individual, regardless of their age, contributes their fair share of work. Regrettably, the welfare of these young laborers often takes a back seat, and some soldiers may resort to abusive or coercive tactics to ensure the completion of the tasks at hand. It's a distressing reality that showcases the government's indifference to the well-being of its most vulnerable citizens, even its children. Number 8. A silent classroom. This photograph offers a glimpse into the heart of a North Korean classroom, where an unsettling silence prevails, devoid of the typical bustling activity one would associate with a learning environment. The sight of empty desks lined up in rows, the teacher's blackboard adorned with ideological slogans, and the striking absence of modern educational tools come together to create a disconcerting tableau of the country's educational system. This eerie quietude within the classroom starkly contradicts the grand narrative propagated by the state, which emphasizes the paramount importance of education. Instead, it unveils a perplexing education paradox at play. Within this system, The prioritization of political indoctrination appears to take precedence over genuine learning experiences. Despite the state's outward assertions of maintaining a comprehensive education system, this image lays bare a disconcerting truth about the actual nature and quality of education within North Korea. Number 9. Secret Female Army. North Korea, despite its relatively modest economic status, boasts a formidable military force. In fact, the North Korean Army ranks among the most populous in the world, comprising well over 7 million members. However, this vast military strength isn't solely a result of a sudden surge in patriotic fervor among North Koreans. Rather, many citizens are compelled to join the military by the government. While the majority of North Korea's military personnel are men, the country also boasts a significant female workforce within its military ranks. It's worth noting that these women, though designated as military members, are not typically engaged in combat roles. Instead, their primary duties often revolve around participating in various ceremonial activities, where they showcase their discipline and precision. Often, these ceremonies involve these female soldiers wielding impressive katanas as they march in perfectly synchronized formations. Moreover, North Korea regularly hosts weekly shows and displays for the supreme leader and his inner circle. During these events, the female soldiers play a significant role in exhibiting their skills and dedication, adding to the spectacle of these gatherings. Number 10. A family dinner scene. This photograph provides a rare and intimate glimpse into the daily life of a North Korean family during their leisure time, focusing on a heartwarming family dinner scene. The family members are huddled together, sharing a simple yet meaningful meal, their expressions reflecting a mixture of weariness and warmth. Despite the numerous challenges they face, there's a palpable sense of togetherness that radiates from the image. The sparsely set dinner table serves as a stark reminder of the food scarcity prevalent in their lives. However, each family member appears to savor the humble fare, turning this shared meal into a powerful symbol of their resilience and unity amidst adversity. Moreover, the photograph subtly underscores the dichotomy between public and private life within North Korean society. In public spaces, the influence of state control and propaganda is unmistakable, shaping the citizens' experiences. Yet behind the closed doors of their homes, families manage to create intimate spaces where shared experiences and a semblance of relative freedom can be enjoyed. However, even in these moments of leisure, the ever-present watchful eye of the state intrudes, symbolized by the mandatory portraits of the Kim dynasty hanging prominently on the wall. This poignant image of a family dinner encapsulates the intricate tapestry of North Korean life, merging elements of resistance and resilience, state control, and the remarkable human capacity to find solace and joy in the ordinary moments of life. Number 11. The picture of Kim Il-sung. The photograph in question features none other than Kim Il-sung, a figure of immense reverence in North Korea's history and the grandfather of the current supreme leader, Kim Jong-un. Kim Il-sung's legacy is so deeply ingrained in the country that even today it remains illegal to capture photographs of his colossal bronze statues from behind. This particular statue, prominently located in Pyongyang, portrays the former supreme leader clad in military attire, standing with an aura of unwavering pride. It stands as one of the most iconic monuments in North Korea, sharing the spotlight with other notable landmarks, such as the Mansu Hill Grand Monument. Now, you might wonder why there's such a peculiar prohibition against photographing Kim Il-sung's statue from the rear. The answer to that question remains a mystery shrouded in secrecy. It's a curious aspect of North Korean culture and regulations that continues to baffle outsiders. Despite the intrigue surrounding this particular restriction, it serves as a reminder of the enigmatic and tightly controlled nature of North Korean society, where certain rules and customs defy easy explanation. Number 12. An empty shopping mall. In this photograph, we're confronted with an imposing architectural marvel, a grand, modern shopping mall that stands eerily empty and desolate. It's a sight that exposes the stark disparity between the image North Korea often portrays to the outside world and the underlying reality. At first glance, this mall, with its gleaming floors and sophisticated design, might appear as if it were plucked from a developed nation. However, its haunting emptiness tells a completely different tale. The photograph subtly hints at the economic challenges that lurk beneath the surface, contrasting sharply with the country's facade of progress. Take a closer look, and you'll notice the absence of both customers and goods on the shelves. This vacuum symbolizes the limited purchasing power of the average North Korean citizen, a direct result of economic hardships and substantial income disparities. Instead of being a bustling hub of commercial activity, the mall serves as a stark reminder that the state's narrative of economic advancement often clashes with the harsh realities of daily life. Number 13. The Kim JongGilia Festival. We all appreciate celebrating various events and festivals, right? Well, these festivities usually attract enthusiastic participants who willingly join in the fun. Nobody's forcing you to attend a parade on Christmas Day or St. Patrick's Day. However, in North Korea, the scenario is quite different. The image you're looking at is from the Kim JongGilia Festival, an annual event dedicated to honoring the memory of the former supreme leader, Kim Jong-il. What's striking here is that people aren't attending the festival out of their own free will. They're literally being marched to pay homage to a monument dedicated to the former supreme leader. This practice is part of the government's strategy to maintain their past leaders as quasi-deities, aiming to instill fear and reverence in the hearts of the people. To be honest, it all appears rather unusual and coercive. Number 14. Propaganda computers. As a tourist in North Korea, you encounter numerous restrictions on the types of photographs you can take. On one occasion, a tourist was guided to a local home that had essentially been meticulously prepared for their visit. This staged setting included various impressive appliances, notably computers. However, despite two girls being present, seemingly ready to operate the computers, they were unable to do any actual work due to a lack of electricity. These girls merely stood by, pretending to press buttons, although it was evident to everyone that it was a fabricated display. It's worth pondering that perhaps if the country had invested as much effort in developing its infrastructure as it did in orchestrating such charades, it might be in a significantly better state today. Number 15. The reality of public services. This photograph sheds light on a common occurrence in North Korea, the sight of citizens waiting in long queues at a public service office. The extended line, coupled with the tired expressions worn by those in line, vividly portrays the challenges associated with accessing public services in the country. The image also underscores the bureaucracy and inefficiencies that often define state-controlled services. The seemingly routine task of standing in line serves as a reminder of the patience and resilience required for everyday life in North Korea. Moreover, it subtly criticizes the government's control over resources and services, as the prolonged waiting times and apparent lack of organization hint at a system that, despite its emphasis on control and order, frequently struggles to deliver efficient services to its citizens. This unassuming portrayal of a queue serves as a powerful symbol of the real-life experiences of North Koreans, shedding light on the daily obstacles and routine aspects of life often overshadowed by political narratives. Number 16. Kim Il-sung's Broom. Remember the Mansu Hill Grand Monument I mentioned earlier? This monument is a tribute to Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the two recent supreme leaders of North Korea. It's highly likely that a statue of Kim Jong-un will be added when his time comes as well. Now, here's an interesting rule. These monuments are expected to be kept impeccably clean at all times, regardless of the circumstances. Leaving any form of items or particles near them is considered a significant offense. However, sadly, it seems that someone tasked with cleaning the area didn't quite grasp this rule. The image clearly shows cleaning tools left at the monument site, which is a serious violation of North Korea's government regulations. The identity of the individual responsible for this oversight remains unknown, but one can only imagine the various severe punishments that might be imposed: public flogging or even execution. The potential consequences are indeed shrouded in uncertainty. Number 17. Military exercise. The 17th photograph transports us to a military exercise, providing a glimpse of highly choreographed power and precision. In this image, a substantial number of uniformed soldiers are captured, their expressions resolute and focused as they engage in a meticulously orchestrated drill. These military exercises, often grand in scale, serve as more than just strategic necessities. They also function as potent tools for political spectacle, showcasing the regime's formidable military prowess. The picture highlights how the North Korean regime employs its military as a symbol of strength and unwavering determination. The soldiers, dressed uniformly and executing coordinated maneuvers, embody the nation's unity and discipline, both of which are integral components of the North Korean state narrative. However, the photograph also subtly hints at the inherently militaristic nature of the state, implying the significant burden of military responsibilities placed upon its citizens. By offering this image, viewers are encouraged to contemplate the individual lives concealed behind the uniform, recognizing the personal sacrifices made in pursuit of the state's militaristic objectives. Number 18. Starving children. Few things illustrate a country's failures as starkly as witnessing children literally starving and scavenging for food on the streets. Unfortunately, it seems that the North Korean government remains indifferent to the plight of these vulnerable youngsters. The image before us captures a heart-wrenching scene of two siblings, their desperate hunger driving them to consume raw, uncooked corn. It's highly likely that these children were tasked with harvesting or performing other grueling tasks, and the corn they hold may have been given to them as meager compensation for their day's labor. Their hunger was so intense that they couldn't even wait to return home before tearing into the unprocessed corn. This is a poignant tale of voracious hunger, and it makes us ponder how many more children endure similar hardships in the shadows of the country. Number 19. Religion under repression. This photograph provides a unique glimpse into a rarely seen aspect of North Korean society: religion. It captures a modest and concealed shrine, representing a subtle act of defiance against the government's stringent control over religious activities. Despite its unassuming appearance, this shrine serves as a powerful symbol of faith's resilience in the face of repression. The image offers a rare insight into the spiritual lives of some North Koreans, suggesting an undercurrent of faith that endures despite the state's official atheistic stance. The shrine's existence reflects a deep yearning for spiritual expression and a remarkable strength of belief, even in the midst of ideological indoctrination. Furthermore, the photograph hints at the government's tight grip on religion, pushing such expressions of faith into the shadows. While the shrine symbolizes spiritual resilience, it also serves as a stark reminder of the curtailed religious freedoms within the country. Through this compelling image, we gain a deeper understanding of the intricate interplay between faith and state control in North Korea, as well as the silent determination of individuals to maintain their spiritual practices amidst conditions of repression. Number 20. Pose for Kim. North Korea has some interesting laws, one of which emphasizes the utmost respect for the Kim family, even in their absence. It's almost considered a transgression to take a picture in front of portraits of Kim family members while engaging in something lighthearted, like making peace signs. Now, I can't fathom what compelled these children to strike such poses in front of the Kim family portraits. For their sake, I sincerely hope they don't face any repercussions, as it's uncertain how the authorities might react if they were to come across these images and take offense. Number 21. Power outages. In a country with such poor infrastructure, frequent power outages come as no surprise. However, that hasn't deterred North Korea's propaganda efforts to portray a constant supply of electricity. A few years ago, a tourist visiting the country experienced a power outage while at one of its museums and managed to capture this revealing image. The photographer was later instructed to delete the picture, with his guides attributing the power failures to the American embargo. It's not uncommon for North Korea to lay blame on the United States for internal issues like power shortages. Fortunately, the tourist was able to preserve the photo, offering us a glimpse into life in the country. Number 22. Unfamiliar cars. One thing that many people in developed countries often take for granted is the abundance of technological advancements in their daily lives. However, if you were born in North Korea, many of these innovations would seem foreign to you. Consider this photograph, for instance, captured in Pyongyang, where children are seen playing on the streets while cars pass by. Despite the growing popularity of vehicles in North Korea, there are still many who are not entirely accustomed to them. Thus, you can witness children playing on the roads, seemingly carefree as cars navigate around them. It raises questions about the whereabouts of their parents. Perhaps they are detained or engaged in labor to secure food, much like many other ordinary citizens. Number 23. A rural train station. This photograph transports us to a rural train station in North Korea, offering a glimpse into a place that starkly contrasts with the typical hustle and bustle associated with such transportation hubs. Here, a powerful sense of stillness and solitude pervades the scene. The solitary track stretches into the distance, symbolizing a silent journey and serving as a reminder of the isolation often experienced in rural North Korea. The image paints a vivid picture of the disparities in infrastructure and development between urban and rural areas within the country. The station's emptiness and the absence of visible passengers underline the limited connectivity and accessibility in these remote regions, highlighting the geographical isolation faced by those living there. Additionally, the photograph invokes themes of journey and movement, with the iron rails leading our gaze toward the horizon. This element stirs a mixture of curiosity and melancholy, inviting contemplation about the voyages these rails facilitate or perhaps those they inhibit. This, in turn, symbolizes the constraints on freedom of movement in North Korea, emphasizing the sharp contrast between the solitude of this station and the universal symbolism of train journeys as pathways to new destinations. Number 24. A soldier's life. It might be tempting to believe that only civilians in North Korea bear the brunt of the hardships, but that assumption would be far from accurate. While military personnel often supervise ordinary citizens engaged in laborious tasks, they themselves are not exempt from such duties. In fact, it's quite common to see members of the military participating in activities like trash disposal or various forms of demanding manual labor. Take a look at this individual hauling logs with the expertise of a seasoned lumberjack. For some military personnel, engaging in strenuous labor may be part of disciplinary measures. However, for many others, it's not a punishment. Rather, it's the government making use of their available workforce. Imagine enlisting in the military with the intention of defending your country, only to find yourself tasked with physically demanding jobs like log hauling. It's akin to a bait-and-switch scenario, where expectations and reality diverge significantly. Number 25. A quiet river. The last photo in this collection transports us to a serene riverside setting, an image that may appear unremarkable on the surface, but holds profound significance within the context of North Korea. In this picture, the river signifies much more than a natural feature. It serves as a symbol of an invisible border, a natural obstacle with profound implications for the lives of North Koreans. Borders, both tangible and concealed, play pivotal roles in the North Korean experience, representing the government's control over citizens' mobility and freedoms. The tranquil river captured in this image reminds us of the hidden boundaries that shape the daily existence of North Koreans. These boundaries encompass restrictions on international travel and tightly regulated internal movement. This photograph encourages us to contemplate the nature of borders and the silent struggles they impose. While the river may exude tranquility, it symbolizes the unseen barriers that confine the lives of ordinary North Koreans. Despite its peaceful appearance, the river underscores the harsh realities of life in an isolated nation, emphasizing the invisible borders that define the North Korean experience. Life in North Korea is undeniably challenging, and witnessing the conditions people endure there can make us appreciate our own lives even more. But I'm curious, would you ever consider visiting this country for a vacation? Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel to support us. See you next time.